Hey, folks, welcome to FCRB TV. It's going to be the World Cup wrap up for the week's matches, the weekend matches. A lot to talk about. This theme, I'm going to try to stay on task with the system of play, styles of plays that we're seeing in the tournament, who are looking good, who are not looking so good, I guess. In particular, individual players, I'm going to talk about James Rodriguez a little bit of Colombia. He was sensational today against Poland, the number 8 ranked team in the world. A shout out to FC Red and Blacks, the U13 boys, in the tournament in the Mid-Atlantic Cup in Manheim, Pennsylvania, won 3-0 in their last group match, which was good. And then the U12 boys won their last 2 games in the Empire Cup today, 2-0 and 5-1. So it's a good day for us. And then we're able to get back to the Cuse in time to watch Colombia and Poland. So what I wanted to talk about is that we've gotten through the second group matches. Again, I got a hat on right now. I gotta get my hair cut, and it's a little wolfy right now, so I can't be on here without the hat. But yeah, so we've gone through the second group matches in every group, and we will start tomorrow with the group finales. But what I want to talk about is it looks like there's a lot of parity in the world game right now, which is fantastic. And I would say, aside from Panama and Saudi Arabia, those are the 2 weakest links in the field. I think that those games, as you can see, England and Belgium, they had their way with Panama. I think Panama is still like 1919, 1994 type football. And everybody's, 2018 sharp, organized, knowing how they want to attack and defend, so on and so forth. So aside from those 2 nations, you meet anybody else, it's going to be tough. Tunisia is like the third. But even Tunisia, if you fool around, you could lose points against them. But it looks like, aside from Germany, Brazil, and Colombia, it looks like those are the only 3 nations, and Spain. Those are the only 4 nations that really come out to play you. They come out to dictate the tempo. They come out to look to keep possession and get after you and try to find, gaps in your defense to carve you out and score goals. But everybody else is looking to go on the counter. Croatia on the counter, Mexico on the counter, Nigeria on the counter, Portugal, big time on the counter. That's all they've got. Counter, even against Morocco, Portugal did not go to boss the game. They got the goal early off the set piece, the corner, and then they just sat back. And Morocco really were unlucky not to score, to be honest with you. And I've got a lot of Portuguese friends, and, I'm sorry, but Morocco were unlucky not to get a goal. They really took it to Portugal. And my man Guerrero, the left back, they put that man on toast. They were killing him, right on toast, just smoking him every time. Amrabat, the man who's at Watford on loan, he went somewhere else, he was killing him. But again, Portugal played on the counter. Croatia got Argentina on the counter real good. I mean, my man Willy Caballero, he messed up big time. Everybody saw that. So that's 1-0. And then, against the run of play, Croatia came down. Modric banged a shot, 2-0. And then, again, Argentina now lost their mind. They're running around crazy. And, again, counterattack. Rakitic slots it in, 3-0. Mexico, they it's when we say everything's like on the counter now, it's about picking your moments, and It's like a cobra looking for that opportunity to strike. Like Mexico against South Korea. South Korea was trying to go after. They felt they needed to go win the game, which was what was nice to see. But Mexico allowed that to play into their hands, and they'll pick their moments to get forward. And they weren't really trying to boss possession. Everybody's giving up possession. Everybody's giving up possession now. And they're like, yeah, you can come on. We're going to get you on the break. That's all we want to do. Because we know that as you come to us, you're going to open yourself up in the back door and we're going to hit you on the break. Mexico's second goal against Korea was on the break. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the group stages are done. And, they're going to keep playing counter. They're going to keep playing counter because they're like, look, if we don't concede, we'll go to PKs. But we know that in 120 minutes, you're going to make one mistake and we're going to score on it. That's what all these teams are doing now. Everybody's playing Mourinho football. Portugal, big-time Mourinho football. Croatia, big-time Mourinho football. Shut it down, park the bus. Every now and again, we're going to hit you on the break. And if you make a mistake, we're going to make you pay. That's what everything is now, man. And it's what's making all these games so tight. You know what I mean? The Nigerian center back who, after they beat Iceland 2-0, and I'm Nigerian, so yeah, that I was really watching that intently. Balogun, he said that the game was really to their liking. They were a bit more patient, and they like to play on the counter. He gave everybody in the world Nigeria's game plan. They want to hit you on the counter. They want to hit you on the break. They want people to come on to them so they can go. And Nigeria's not the only one. Like I said, everybody except for those 4 big nations came out, play for the counter. Like today, I think that the best performing team that I've seen so far. Croatia was very good. No doubt about it. Croatia was very good. But again, they played 2 games on the counterattack. They didn't really take the game to anyone. So, as I said, the 2 best teams that I've seen, Spain, obviously very good. They still have that tiki-taka juice in them, and they're keeping it, they're knocking it. Isco is running the show, and yes, they're doing this thing. Spain looks very good. But today, Colombia was absolutely sensational. That was a masterclass that they put on Poland today. They were so good. Poland, you can see it in the face of all the Polish players, including Lewandowski. They were like, yo, these Colombianos are good, bro. They good. The Polish knew it. They were like, and did you notice that Colombia would have the ball for a good amount of time, trying to create something. If it didn't come off, the minute Poland got it, they didn't try to keep it. They just tried to quickly hit a long one and try to get down there real quick with Lewandowski and get a chance. That's all they were doing because they knew, hey, we can't fool around and keep this too long because we might not get anything out of it. And if we give up the rock now that we have it, we might not get it back again for another 5 minutes because Colombia's going to be knocking it. And as we said, Colombia was running the show today. Did you guys see James Rodriguez today? Oh my God. If I had a daughter, I would let him marry her without a doubt. This man, James Rodriguez, is dope. He is phenomenal. He ran the show today. He was all over it. But you see that pass he gave to Cuadrado? Come on, man. And just the way that they kept it, and he and Quintero, oh my God. Yo, Colombia was on fire. And this guy, James Rodriguez, is really a big, big star. He's a big, big star. But for some reason, he's not getting the just due. He needs to go to a team where it's about him. And when he was at Real Madrid, now Cristiano Ronaldo said that he was upset that they loaned him out and he didn't stay and they didn't replace him. But the reason why they loaned him out is because James Rodriguez is a classic 10. He's a classic playmaker. And when he is in the team, it's about him, bro. It's about him. And he makes everybody else go, So if Real Madrid allowed James to be James, we won't be talking about your boy Ronaldo, to be honest with you. Because James is so good that he would have brought Benzema back to life. Bale would have loved him as well. And Ronaldo wouldn't be scoring all these goals. Real Madrid is built for for the team to quickly get down the field and find Ronaldo to score the goal. And when you play like that, James is like, whoa, I'm not getting my touches. I'm not getting to manipulate the tempo of the game. I'm not in control. I have to go quickly and get the ball to Ronaldo. Come on, man. You know? I mean, look at how Modric and Toni Kroos and James, can you imagine? All three of those guys were at Real Madrid in the midfield. All three were at Real Madrid at the same time at one point. And they're all shining for the national team. Why? Because when they go home, the national coach is like, yo, this is your show, baby. We're going to build everything around you. You know, when you go to Real Madrid, and like, you know, people call me a hater and stuff like that, but take a look, people. James played Hugo Bonito today. It was amazing how he was just all over the place. On his touches were so silky smooth. I mean, and Quintero's a baller too. This Colombia team, yo, they're going to give, I'm telling you right now, they're going to whip the shit out of motherfuckers. Oh, I'm sorry. They're going to whip Senegal's tail come next week. Senegal's in trouble. Because Senegal doesn't defend well enough. And the way that these guys keep the ball and they come for you, it's one of those horror movies when you know they're outside and you got too many windows in your house. They coming. They going to get in and they're going to get you. It's a wrap. Colombia is going to whip Senegal. Senegal's about to be out. And Colombia is going to be a team nobody wants to play in the next round. That's how good they are. Right now, I'm really feeling them. Spain is the same way. But Spain, we already know Spain does that. But Colombia lost. Everybody's like, yeah, well, they lost to Japan. Yeah, they lost to Japan because they got the red card in the first 4 minutes. That's why they lost. If they played Japan 11v11, it would have been tight, but they would have given it to Japan too. Yeah, and Senegal, you know, my African brothers, I'm sorry, but if you guys don't figure out your back four and your block of 8, if you don't organize that in time, and there is no time really, because you should have came into the tournament understanding how you're going to do that. You know what I mean? So, as I said, Senegal's in trouble. They're in trouble because we saw what they did today against Japan. That was Mickey Mouse defending what they did there today, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And James and Quintero, Falcao, Cuadrado, they're going to eat that up all day. I say like 3-1. 3-1 Colombia. They will win the group, and they will go on. Yeah. Because I think that Poland is out with 2 losses. And then, oof. But you know, Poland can fight Japan and get a draw, and that will help Colombia. So, but Colombia beating Senegal. Senegal's in trouble. I don't think Senegal's going to be able to do it. But yeah, so James Rodriguez is such a good player. He's such a good player. I mean, he's beautiful, man. He's beautiful. On the ball, his touch, and he works hard. His engine is big. He works hard too. He covers ground. You know, he's amazing, man. This Colombia team, wow. And those center backs with Davinson Sanchez and Mina, man, listen, they're ready. They're ready. There was a moment where Poland was starting to get into the game in the second half. I would say after 2-0. After 2-0. In between 2-0 and 3-0. Poland was trying to get on the ball and trying to make something happen. And the way that the Colombian back four organized themselves and got their midfielders organized as well, I was like, oh, they know how to defend too? Forget it. Poland is done today. Forget it. They weren't getting through. I think that they can beat anybody in this tournament. They really can. They really can. But here's a question for you too, on a side note. How come my man from Arsenal, David Ospina, every time he make a save, he get hurt? Every time he make a save, he hurting. He's like, he was holding his leg. He was holding his tummy. It's like, I seriously have not seen a moment where David Ospina makes a save and he gets up like, yeah. No, he's always wincing after a save. It's like, bro, that's your job. What are you doing? But anyway, even though he's in goal, Colombia right now looking real hot. Colombia's looking hot. I think Spain is going to take up Morocco tomorrow and, book their place as a group winners in Group A. Or not Group A, but whatever group they're in with Spain and Iran. I think Iran and Portugal is going to be a tight one. Because Portugal, they're going to play on the counter, and Iran they're not really going to come for Portugal, because they have They have 3 points as well. Portugal has 4. So they may come for Portugal a bit. They'll have to come for Portugal a bit. And that's going to play right to the hands of Portugal. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Portugal's going to win the game. It could be a draw. I see a draw written all over it. Yeah, I think it's a draw. It could be our first 0-0 match of the tournament. That one has that written all over it. And so does Russia-Uruguay. Russia-Uruguay could possibly be 0-0 as well. Or the Uruguayans nick that 1-0. Because they got that dude Cavani, bro. And Suarez. Them dudes up front, bruh. You know, they're real good. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes tomorrow. But again, it's all about the counterattack, you know. Croatia's going to sit pretty against Iceland and let Iceland come onto them and try to hit them on the break. And they'll probably take a 0-0 as well. They will, because they're set. Nigeria and Argentina is going to be fire. And I say it's going to be fire. People think that Argentina's done. And I'm nervous because, as I said, I'm Nigerian. And, Argentina's a wounded animal. And this could be the last international match for a slew of those guys, because they could retire if they don't get the results. They're friends. They could band together, but there is turmoil in the camp. They're not listening to Sampaoli. There's just factions going on. So I'm personally hoping that continues and Sampaoli gets his way and plays the worst team possible so that we can beat them. Because we need to beat them so we can get through. And I'm sorry for Lionel Messi. I know that I said before that I think that he had enough to make a run in this tournament. I don't understand why they've fallen apart. But I did believe that by the time the matchup between Nigeria and Argentina would come to, that the game would just be just to make up the numbers, mere formality. But now everything depends on this game. So it's going to be tough. Hopefully my Nigeria jersey comes in the mail in time so I can rock that on Tuesday. But I'm a little nervous because I think that, I said a wounded animal. You don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to respond to Argentina. And again, Argentina's going to come for us. Hopefully we can hit them on the break. As we all know, Ahmed Musa loves to score against Argentina. He should be in the lineup for us on Tuesday. So we're looking forward to that. Hope we can get the result. England and Belgium, they're playing for the first seed in the group. They say Lukaku is not going to play, and Roberto Martinez says that he's going to rest some of his big players. So we'll see how that goes. England may do the same, maybe. But yeah, it's about the counterattack game. Everybody's on the counter. Mexico is shining on the counter. Shining. Carlos Vela's looking amazing. Who else is in there? Really, it's Hervin Lozano, Chucky Lozano, and my man Carlos Vela. Carlos Vela's always been my man because he was the Mexican who was at Arsenal. And I remember this dude when he was playing under 17 and under 20 for Mexico, and they were winning the World Cup. Yeah, go look it up. Them little dudes were winning it back then. It was him, Gio dos Santos, Javier Hernandez wasn't even in the team, bro. They had some other dudes. It was Gio, Carlos Vela. It's a couple of other dudes that were in there too. You know what? I think that Marco Fabian was in another group of Mexicans that did well at the Youth World Cup levels as well. But they've had good teams. Jonathan dos Santos, I think, was in that team as well. In there, in the mix. Mexico's had good youth teams. So Carlos Vela's balling on the counter. As you all know, if you didn't know, I'm not a big fan of Chicharito. He's a quick striker. That's why he fits what they want to do. I just wish they had another striker who was fast, so they can just take out Chicharito, because Chicharito really squanders a lot of chances. If you're honest, take a look. Even that goal he scored against Korea, he almost missed. If that goalkeeper was Manuel Neuer, he would have saved it. Yep, he scuffed it right at the dude, and the dude just took it, closed his eyes, and missed the ball. But anyway, yeah, I know you probably call me a hater, but that's all right, man. I'm just keeping it 100 today. Keeping it 100. So it's all about the counter game. I'm wondering who, as we progress,
how much counter game is going to still be played? Are teams going to all of a sudden say we got to go get it now? It's interesting, but a lot of it's been counter game, set pieces, playing for free kicks in certain areas, playing for corners, things like that, penalties as well. So I tell you, oh yes, and Germany took care of Sweden in the last minutes, and in that game with Germany and Sweden, I think that there were a couple of shouts for penalties for Sweden on the counterattack again. They never really got the ball and tried to take it to Germany. They just wanted to catch them on the break. And they caught them a few times where, as I said, they could have had a couple penalty shouts. There was one where Boateng fouled, I believe it was Tovinen, fouled him in the box. I thought that could have been a pen. At least VAR should have been used to look at that, but they didn't, which, again, VAR sucks. Don't know why. I don't even know why wouldn't they have used it to take a look at that. It was in the box. And then when they did score the goal to go ahead, that was on the counter. A counter off a mistake where, Toni Kroos gave the ball away, and they quickly went down and got the finish. But aside from that, I think that the result was just because Germany really turned it up. They scored early in the second half. Marco Reus was energizing for the Germans. He was always moving around, giving the Swedish defense trouble. And I think Jogi Löw needs a lot of credit for making the changes, dropping Khedira. Now, the lad he brought on, I forgot what his name is, the one that got his nose broken. Gundogan is better than him. Gundogan should have got the start if Khedira is not going to play. You know what I mean? And then they took out Mesut Ozil, the Arsenal man, and I believe they inserted. I just said his name, Marco Reus. And you know what else I would tell Yogi to do after that is go ahead and drop Julian Draxler too and bring on Julian Brandt. Yeah, bring that dude on because he looks about the business. Drop Draxler as well. You need Muller in there for his experience and his he still got that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to take care of Korea. Korea looked like they used all their juice up in the first two games. They used all their juice, and it's not going to come off for them. I think they're done. They're going to fight, Germany's ready to go now. So Germany's going to be dangerous. Mexico's dangerous, of course. Colombia. I think Brazil is going to be a problem as well. This Brazilian team is 100 times better than the Brazilian team of 2014. That Brazilian 2014, they need to erase them from the history books in Brazilian football. Them dudes were terrible. Terrible. Think about it. Look at the strikers they have right now. They've got Gabriel Jesus. They have Bobby Firmino. Yes. Then in the attacking core, then you have Coutinho. Then you have Willian. Then you have Douglas Costa. Bruh. And you know about Neymar and all that. Yeah. 4 years ago, they had Fred in the team. Fred? And Bernardo, that dude that plays at Shakhtar, he's not bad. He's not bad. But look who we're talking about here. We're talking about Willian, Douglas Costa, Bobby Firmino, bruh. This Brazilian team going forward. But again, they play with the 3 men up front with no real playmaker in the middle. The 3 men up front, Coutinho is one of the 3, but then he drifts into the middle and, plays as the playmaker from there. You know what I mean? But it's like... what was I gonna say? It's like they play with 2 defensive midfielders in Casemiro and Paulinho. I'm not really big on that, but they're still good. They're still good, and I think they're hitting their stride as well. So it's gonna be real interesting the next week as we close out the group stage. I see Portugal and Spain coming out with Spain being the group winners. I see Russia and Uruguay coming out with Uruguay as the group winners. Uruguay will beat Russia. They will nick it because Edinson Cavani is a role model of mine. Dude is ridiculous. I just can't grow hair like that. Who else do we have? We have now see, Mexico, Germany, South Korea, Sweden. That Mexico-Sweden game is going to be tough because Sweden's going to come for them. And they have a reasonable size advantage. So this is what I expect to happen in the Mexico-Sweden game. Mexico needs to play. They can't go resting players. And you know they're built on the counter right now for this tournament. If they let these Swedes come onto them and then they now concede corners, that's going to be a problem for Mexico. This game, don't be surprised. And I got some Mexican homies as well. And I'm just trying to be as honest as I can be as I assess these matches. Don't be surprised if Sweden nicks a couple of goals or something and knocks Mexico out. For as great as Mexico has played, and I did say they were going to be a problem, but they've got to get through this game with Sweden. And the matchup is a bit problematic for El Tri because I tell you, Sweden's got some players who can play. Set pieces are going to be in their advantage. They're going to come on to Mexico. Mexico's going to want them to come on to them. But Mexico's got to make their counters count. They got to make it count. And I tell you what, they better keep playing the same team that they've been playing. Don't start making changes. Osorio, don't start making changes. Play the same dudes you've been playing and get it done. And another thing, Rafa Marquez can't play anymore. Because when he came on against South Korea, he was giving it away. He almost gave it away where Ochoa got kicked by the captain of Korea because the ball was a scramble in the box because Rafa gave it away. And then two, when Son scored that curler, Rafa was a little too old to get there to put a foot out to block it. Take a look at it again. So Osorio can't play Rafa anymore. You got to put somebody else in there. Somebody else. Or just leave Guardado in there the whole game. So that's what I'm thinking there. So that Mexico, I think Germany's coming out. And Germany might just win the group because I think they're gonna really whip South Korea. They're gonna whip them. It's gonna be bad. So they're gonna. When I say bad, they beat them 2-0, 3-0, something like that. They're gonna give it to Korea. So Germany's gonna win the group, and that Sweden-Mexico game, that's one to mark on your calendars, folks. If you can get out of work early or something to go check that out, that's the one to watch. If you want to go to your local pub and sit with your homies, that's the one to watch. Mexico-Sweden is going to be fire. Yes, that one in Argentina-Nigeria. Speaking of Argentina-Nigeria, I'm going to choose this one with my heart, not my head, and I'm going to say that Nigeria is going to knock out Argentina, and they will come in second in the group to Croatia. Croatia is going to either win or draw against Iceland. Because they're going to defend well. They're feeling real good, the Croats. So we'll say that they get a point at least. They win the group with 7, and Nigeria will find a way to beat Argentina, get 6 points, and get out the group as a second seed. Denmark, France, quite boring. I think that France is already through, so it'll be a draw or something. Denmark will fight to try to get more out of it, but I don't think they will. And then that being the case, they will still get through. And Australia and Peru, unfortunately, will be out. Who else is there? England and Belgium. That might be a boring game. They might just draw and they both go through. But if I have to pick a winner, England. If Harry Kane plays, he's going to score. And I think Harry Kane's the captain. He's going to play. He's going to score. I say England 1-0. England wins the group. Colombia, I already said it. Colombia's going to whip Senegal. Senegal better, man, listen. They're going to whip Senegal, and Colombia's going to win the group, right? Yeah. And then Japan and Poland, yeah. Colombia's going to win the group. Colombia will win the group. Because I think that's, because Poland and Japan will probably tie. So Colombia will win the group. And I think that's it, right? Let me just make sure that I got it right here because I don't want to miss anything here. I talked about Yes, I talked about Switzerland and Serbia. Now, Serbia and Brazil. Brazil's in the driver's seat. Serbia's going to come forward, try to get, because they have to win the game, and I think Brazil hit them on the break. I don't see Brazil capitulating. Serbia will be out. Switzerland and Brazil will go through as Brazil group winners. And yeah, I think that's it. I covered it all, folks. I covered it all. So yeah. So again, to sum it all up, it's all about the counter game in this tournament. It's all about the chess game and who's going to make the mistake, who's going to give up that space where the other team can run into and make them pay. That's what it is. That's what you got to look out for, the counterattack. And again, if you haven't seen James play yet, you've got to carve out time in your summer here to watch James Rodriguez play football. The guy is poetry in motion. He's a conductor, and he's beautiful. I absolutely love him. I almost wish I had a daughter so she could marry James, and I can say that's my son-in-law, because the man is amazing. Amazing, Jerome. Fooled us. So Colombia was fantastic today. So let's see what happens next week. I'll hit you guys up again after we go through the weekend matches. Depending on what goes on in the week, I might come in a little early because these games are coming up thick and fast, and they're going to be real barn burners. Nigeria, Argentina on Tuesday. It's tough, man. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, but I think we should be able to get it done. Ahmed Musa loves to score against Argentina. So let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Help your boy out. Help his club out, FCRB TV. Subscribe. Ciao.